Coliseum back to its original 70s glory. What a scene in the East Bay. And we're underway in the John Madden Legacy game. And no run back on the opening kickoff. It'll come out to the 25. So it's the NFC Stars who will get the ball first. And Charles, as we alluded to, we've got a different era of coach on each sideline. So the man coaching this NFC squad, we'll call him Young John Madden. This is a coach who was trying to establish a foothold in the NFL and on the cusp of doing it very successfully.
Yeah, you think back to that period, those early days as the coach of the Raiders, the late 60s in the AFL and then in the NFL in the early 70s. The coach was a guy who was ahead of his time. The Raiders were one of the first teams.
All right, rifles one, and that's going to be intercepted. Picked up by Rod Woodson. And he is going to bring this back inside the 20 to the 18-yard line. So from inside the 20, here's 1st and 10 at the 18. So after the INT, it's Brady. And that is incomplete. Oh, the coverage a little too good there, and it's 2nd down.
And to put it mildly, this is a tough spot defensively. They have to come right back out and defend their red zone. But how about that good first step towards forcing them to settle for at least 3?
And they're going to get him. He's sacked back around the 28. That's the Hall of Famer Lawrence Taylor doing what he does best. The chance of wasting this great starting field position, a real threat. This is 3rd and long. Here's Brady to throw. And this pass broken up. Excellent coverage there on 3rd down, as that was not an easy one to hold on to. Brady going to go on 4th down. Over the middle, complete. It's Hall. And down he goes, taking it inside the 10, just shy of the 5 at the 6. So as we mentioned at the top, let's take you through the life of John Madden. And, you know, it's very fitting that we're here back in the Bay Area, not just because John's so associated with Raider football, but also because this was where he's... And, oh, it'll be intercepted. Ronnie Lott, the Hall of Famer, with a pick. CD, when he went to throw that, I'm not sure if he just didn't see where the defense was. Whatever the case, not the throw you're looking for on 1st and goal.
Not at all, because, look, let's face it, that close to the goal line, if you throw an interception, is going to hurt on any down. But really, the only down you can kind of live with is if you do it on 4th down. The first 3, if you don't have it wide open, just get rid of it. Make sure they can't get it and live to fight another day.
The ball popped in the air and intercepted. Rod Woodson with a pick. And they are going to take over right there at the 22-yard line. Trying to shake off the interception from the last drive. He'll look to throw. And now this is intercepted. My goodness. Deion Sanders, the Hall of Famer, with a pick. And a short return will be stopped inside the 10 at the 8-yard line.
Well, it doesn't take a whole lot of investigation to figure out why they're still sitting at 0 on the scoreboard, because their quarterback's got to wake up and start reading defense a heck of a lot better after throwing his 2nd interception.
The offense for the NFC ready to get their next drive started. They got the ball now following a big play, keeping the other guys out of the end zone. Now they'll start deep in their own territory, 1st and 10. On 2nd down, Favre. And here's another interception, the 3rd. Now he's hit on the return. It's a loose football. Well, do you want to unpack that one, or do you want me to?
You're the boss.
We get the interception, then really he's just too loose with the football on the return, and he coughs it right back up the other way.
I've seen this happen in an NFL game, and boy, did it cost someone. San Francisco at Atlanta a few seasons ago. Atlanta throws the interception. San Francisco runs it back. Game is salted away. Fumbles on the return.
Atlanta gets it back, drives down, kicks the game-winning field goal.
How about that? And a crazy situation we just saw there. Favre. And they're not able to hook up there. Incomplete. But Charles, you mentioned Coach was a 21st-round draft pick back in 1958. It was the Philadelphia Eagles who selected him. But unfortunately for John, knee problems, they just continued to dog him. He was hurt in his first training camp. Actually never saw the field as a player in the NFL. But it was still during his time with the Eagles. You and I were talking about this before going on air. That you could start to see the light bulb going on for what his career path might entail.
And it went on in a big way, didn't it? Because while he was rehabbing his knee, he started to spend a lot of time breaking down film with the Eagles with quarterback Norm Van Brocklin, the future Hall of Famer and future head coach in the NFL. Remember, Van Brocklin coached with the Falcons. He coached with the Vikings. And it was there during that time, I think Coach Madden realized his love of football and love for teaching, combining all that together, and that meant being a football coach. So in 1960, began his coaching career at a small college south of San Luis Obispo called Allen Hancock, and then later at San Diego State University under another legendary coach, the guy who could throw it around pretty well, Don Coryell.
They come up with exactly 1 minute to go in this first quarter. On first down, Brady. Open man is Andre Reed, complete. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. Well, Charles, you know, it was in the early 1960s that a young John Madden made the acquaintance of the owner of the Oakland Raiders, one Al Davis, of course, and the two, they really bonded, would become one of the best owner-coach duos in NFL history. And to take it a step further, Al Davis became someone who John referred to as his best friend.
Yeah, 1967, Brandon, Al Davis hired to be a linebackers coach. Remember, this was still the AFL at that point. We had not merged totally with the NFL. And Coach Madden, he paid dividends almost immediately. Helped the Raiders win the AFL title in 1968. And that meant a date with the Green Bay Packers in what was now known as Super Bowl II. But by 1969, at the age of 32, just 32, Brandon, John Madden assumed the mantle of head coach of the Oakland Raiders. And what a ride he, the Raiders, and the NFL were about to go on.
23 yards, the final tally. So we're through one at the Coliseum in Oakland. 0-0 our score. This is the John Madden Legacy game on EA Sports. 5 yards from the end zone, first and goal. Again, they'll throw with Brady. And this is going to be intercepted. And he's going to bring this one back for an NFC touchdown. So from one end zone all the way to the other. Talk about a turnaround.
And how about the excitement that that play generates for his team? Not just the points on the board, but the momentum and taking it from coast to coast, end zone to end zone. What a tremendous play. Now get that man an oxygen tank.
That's your boy Old Mo, you said. Momentum, right?
Old Mo, I think he's kind of limping across at the end because of that distance, but he made it.
So they throw the pick six. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. Dante Hall going to bring it out of the end zone. And no chance to get away as they'll get him down at about the 17-yard line. The offense for the AFC set to go now. They are looking to make a bit of a 180. They are sputtering right now.
And frankly, I think it's time to call your playmakers together and say, all right, guys, we're going to lean on you through this patch. We need you to get us back on track and get us going in the right direction. So you're calling plays geared to them. Not necessarily to look at your plays, oh, this hurts the defense. I want the ball in the hands of X, Y, and Z and see if we can move forward.
So don't get too cute. Go to the playmakers. Finding space at the 40. Charles, you talked about John Madden and the Raiders going on a ride. Well, try these numbers on for size. So 10 seasons as a head coach. The Raiders won their division 7 times. They finished second the other 3 times. And he became the youngest coach to amass 100 career regular season victories and is still, to this day, the franchise leader in wins.
And you think about it, that's where that rivalry with Kansas City really took root. As did the expression commitment to excellence. And boy, was it personified by the players who played for Coach Madden. On offense, how about quarterback Kenny Stabler, wide receiver Cliff Branch, wide receiver...
And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Well, CD, you know, when you mentioned earlier about spreading the ball around in this game, I don't think you mentioned the guys in the other uniform. With 4 interceptions here in the first half, and several different guys have picked him off.
Yeah, instead of analyzing what's going wrong with him, throwing the football, while we look at the defense, they came in prepared. An excellent game plan, well scouted, and they're taking it away at almost every turn.
Favre on 2nd down. Sanders has it over the middle. Charles, you think about all the success that John Madden had as an NFL head coach, and he had plenty, and we talked about it, including the 10 straight winning seasons, a Super Bowl title. But like any great coach, he also suffered through a few tough losses along the way as well.
And Brandon, those tough losses came in high-stakes games because they always had such great success. Think about it this way. 6 times in his 10 years, the Raiders were knocked out in either the AFL championship game or the AFC championship game. But it might be a divisional round exit. That's the one that bothered him most of all. 3 River Stadium, December 19th.
And it'll be intercepted. Picked up by Rod Woodson. Well, this is just crazy. He's got 3 interceptions, Charles, and we haven't even departed the first half of this ball game.
I think if you're looking at the stats right now, you're saying, who's the leading receiver? Well, can you flip it around and say that maybe he is?
And my goodness, another interception. Picked up by the Hall of Famer John Lynch. And his guys will set up shop at midfield at the 50-yard line. Good starting field position for them as they come up 1st and 10 right at the 50-yard line. Trying to shake off the interception. He'll look to throw. And they'll get this down to around the 47-yard line. A brief pause in the action here as they tend to an injury. That's George Kittle shaken up on that last play. While they come out and take a look at him, we will step aside for just a moment. To throw is Favre. He'll get this complete to Cooper Kupp. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. He's got his first catch here before halftime, and he goes for a first down. The CDV spoke of some of the Raiders' tough playoff losses through the decade of the 70s, but for one shining season, they put it all together, and that was 1976. You remember a 13-1 regular season, a memorable playoff win over New England. They dominated the Steelers 24-7 in the AFC title game, and then a meeting with the Minnesota Vikings in Super Bowl 11.
Oh, Brandon, what a game that was down at the Rose Bowl in Pasadena. A gorgeous 53-degree day, perfect for football. Raiders down to a 16-0 lead at the half, and Clarence,
touchdown! Jason Witten. A 12-yard touchdown grab. And the NFC is in for 6.
Personal foul, roughing the passer, defense.
So obviously they will decline the penalty there, and the result is 6 points. Extra point by Anderson, up and good. And it's now 14-0. Just a 4-play drive that time. And it's finished off by an NFC touchdown. Following the touchdown, here's Anderson to kick it away. Here comes Hall. He's going to bring it out. And no alley to be found. The coverage was solid, and he's dropped at the 18. A little under 30 seconds to go. We'll see how they play it here on 1st and 10. To throw is Brady. And this is caught. It's Brown. And he'll be corralled right around the 34. Now the AFC going to use the first of their timeouts as they stop it with 19 seconds to go in half number 1. From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. They fake the handoff. Now Brady. And this one is incomplete. I hate to say it, Charles, but the way that he has played in this first half, you just kind of hold your breath every time he drops back to pass.
Yeah, you might be holding your breath, but those guys on the defensive side of the ball, they've got big smiles on their faces. He's handing out picks like the people just leave the candy out at Halloween and you take what you want. They're having a blast out there playing against him today.
On play action, now Brady. And that is incomplete, stopping the clock with 5 seconds to go. And they line up now for what will likely be the last play of the first half. The final shot before half for Brady. And going deep for Hill. And he knocks the ball away, and it falls incomplete. Well, coming up in the second half, we'll run through John's post-coaching triumphs. But for now, we present a very special tribute to the man of the hour, narrated by Trey Mosley. Boy, Charles, yeah, that is really well done. Coach was something else, wasn't he?
I'm reminded what Al Davis said when he was inducted coach of the Pro Football Hall of Fame, Brandon. He loved the game. He loved his team. He loved the Raiders. He loved this league. And you can see it with everything he does.
No doubt. But it's quite possible, though, that now he would say, hey, enough of that. Let's play some football. And the second half forthcoming from Oakland. The last run got a couple. Here's 2nd and 8. To throw, it's Brady. And it's complete to Antonio Gates. And he's taken down, but able to slip across the 35. So now, Charles, to pick up the story we've been telling, John Madden at 42, he just completed a 10-year stint as the coach of the Raiders. He wants to step away a bit from the grind of coaching, but he doesn't want to step away from the game of football. So he ends up signing on with CBS in 1979 to try his hand at broadcasting. And much like his coaching career, he was pretty much an instant success.
Partner, he really connected with the people right from the start, and people may not remember he wasn't even on the #1 team in the beginning. He worked his way up. But the same things that made him a great coach made him a great broadcaster. The ability to show the big picture, yet break it down into the details. That's what he did with his teams. That's what he did with the people. That way, he was simple to understand, yet insightful for viewers. And he did with that big personality that he had, one that connected with everyone.
Brady's throw on 3rd down there is incomplete. Brady to throw for it on 4th down. Throw left side complete. That's Hall. And he is going to be taken down with a big gainer there on fourth. And the AFC going to keep the drive alive. Still in search of their first touchdown of the game, but they're on the move. 1st and 10. So for Coach Madden, Charles, by 1981, his broadcasting career is really taking off. He's elevated to the network's #1 booth that calls all the big matchups. And he gets the plum assignment of calling Super Bowl 16, 49ers and Bengals, and he's teamed up with Pat Summerall. And that pairing ultimately would go on to be one of the most influential in sports broadcasting history.
Influential not just in us listening to them. Remember, they went on and called 8 Super Bowls together. But how they put together kind of the template that all of us broadcasters follow now. Sitting down with the head coaches and the quarterbacks and the stars of each team before a ball game to get extra information. And the way that those two paired together, Pat Summerall, short, concise, to the point, and turned it over to Coach Madden to fill in all the big details.
They'll go for it. It's Brady. He's going to fire one deep over the middle. And now here is another interception. The Hall of Famer Ronnie Lott picks it. And he will bring it out past the 20-yard line.
And that has to be a little bit discouraging because after all their halftime talk, adjustments and points of emphasis, their first drive ends with an interception. Absolutely aggravating if you're a head coach because you spent all that time, gone through every situation possible, and it still ends in a turnover.
Back down here on EA Sports. It's AFC football, but they trail here as we begin the 4th quarter. From the gun, it's Favre. Looking deep downfield. It's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect. As you mentioned, CD, talking about John Madden, the broadcaster, he called 8 Super Bowls with Pat Summerall, 3 more with Al Michaels later in his career. He spent nearly 3 decades in the booth all told. And not only was he beloved for his mannerisms, we know that, but he was an innovator as well.
Yeah, Brandon, you're talking about things like the telestrator, which totally became identified with him, and now it's a staple for all analysts to have in the booth. And then you think about things like turducken on Thanksgiving, when he used words like boom and pow. He helped create the old Madden team. He was a very popular commercial pitch man. And even the Madden Cruiser was unique, and you had to be someone to get a ride on it, too.
Now, CD, we did get a little ahead of ourselves talking about John Madden, the broadcaster in the 90s and 2000s, because there was another product during that time period that he became quite famous for, and it's something that you and I know a little bit about, and that's the video game that bears his name. Originally John Madden Football when it was first released back in the late 1980s, and now known the world over simply as Madden.
And Coach saw this originally as a way to teach the game of football. The early designs were for a 7-on.
He's got a man, complete, and touchdown. Randy Moss, 53 yards, and the NFC.
Yeah.
Time to decide how you're going to make your Madden NFL 23 debut.
Yeah.
You could put yourself